After 5 years of doing tech reviews, this one almost feels like it's overdue. It's my very first tablet review. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese, the 4-piece variety of Wooks Triple XL. And I'm, as I say, inaugurating the tablet reviews on the channel. This is the first time I've ever reviewed a GSM product in 5 years. So do have a little bit of patience with me. We're going to give it the good old college try. And I thought I would review it the same way that I do a laptop, because that's kind of the idea, right, with a lot of these systems is to be laptop substitutes and on-the-go devices, just with a bigger screen. And it's quite a nice starting point, I would say, because from my research, what I understand is the Lenovo Tab 10s, these Gen 3 products, are very, very good bang for buck. And after using them, I can pretty much attest to that being the case. So without further ado, without further gilding on the lily, let's jump straight into it. So we've got the Tab Plus 10, or the Tab M10 Plus. This is actually, what's this thing called? This is a stylus-enabled device, as you can see over there, where it has its own battery and a couple of nice functions and stuff from the stylus itself, and then the standard Tab M10 as well over on this side. And they are actually quite similar, but not really at the same time. It's sort of weird. This is definitely the premium one, as you'll see when we get to the benchmark results and stuff. But they're about the same size. They have about the same resolution. This one is just a bit sharper. It's got a 220 ppi. I can't remember for this one, but it's basically full HD. They're both in a 16:10 format. And honestly, you'd be hard pressed to tell between the two if they were just on a table, right? This one is only slightly bigger than this one, but you'll see when we get to the screen quality, etc. This one has definitely been set up as a drawing tablet minded idea over here. And the package contents is pretty simple and straightforward. You get a basic 10-watt charger, 5V 2 amp, and then a USB Type-C cable. A little bit on the short end, but it's fine. It's nothing that detracts from the usage really of the product. I think this is a 1.2 meter cable, so it's a little bit shorter, but it's perfectly fine. 10-watt charger, yeah, it is a little bit yesteryear. These can do up to 20-watt chargers. So if you do have a 20-watt charger, then you'll be able to get a lot better charge rate out of them. In that regard, it's a big plus with these. They have huge batteries. Anyway, the Tab M10 comes with a little screen protector and a cleaner so that you can make sure it's absolutely perfectly clean before you do apply it. Nothing for the 10 Plus. This does have a full stylus though on top of that. And from what I can understand, one of the cheaper ones with the stylus. So let's go through the physical setup, because they've done a good job over here, and especially with like speaker outputs. So looking at the left-hand side, you're going to see, especially on the 10 Plus, you're going to notice that 3.5mm jack up top. Both of them have 3.5mm jacks and a Type-C on the left-hand side. And it's really nice to see that they've got that 3.5mm jack. The little portholes that you see on the Plus are there for the speakers, because they've actually got quad speaker dual stereo setups on these. It does make them really, really nice to use. Along the top, you're going to see some buttons on the Tab M10. There's nothing really except for those then speaker holes on the base 10. The 10 Plus at least has the volume controls up top and a SIM card slot up top there as well. Then along the right hand side, you're going to notice the power button or standby button on the 10 Plus. And then on the standard one, you're going to see a volume control with that then tab button below it. If we then look around the back of the devices, you'll notice they both have cameras in the top right. They're just 8 megapixel 1080p cameras. So it's more for document scanning and that sort of setup, more than taking pictures and video. They do obviously have that functionality, but it's nothing really to write home about. There is a little bit of autofocus on them, so it does help when you're capturing images. And I actually used the M10 Plus to capture my benchmark stats onto the tablet so I could talk about them during a GPU review this week. So that was nice to have this on hand to be able to do that, I've got to say. The 10 as well has a front-facing camera, but well, both of them do. And it's just for basic video conferencing and such with a fixed focal length. Now, the one immediate way to tell the difference between the two is in the screen quality. As you'll see with the images that I'm going to put up for you now, where we're doing Costa Rica over there on the side by side, the IPS on the 10 Plus is very noticeable. It's extremely bright as well. It didn't struggle in any other lit environments or if there was sunlight coming in, because this thing hits like 500 nits or 500 centimeters squared about just on that. This one is also equally bright, but you can see it's a lot cooler. It's not as warm as the IPS that we find on the 10 Plus. And so this is where we get to something a little bit interesting. So the graphical performance, I mean, there's 3D Mark IV tablets now, which I absolutely love. So of course I did a test bench setup with that, and I tested both of these, and of course the 10 Plus has a stronger GPU in it. Big surprise over there. We know with the chipset it should be stronger, right? But what was kind of surprising was the CPU performance. I ran it 3 times over to double check, but they're actually slightly faster on the M10, and I can only attribute that to maybe some of the power phasing and stuff that's set up in it, but they're quite comparable in processing performance, and that's not a bad thing, I would say. It means that you're just getting extreme value for just raw processing performance. If you wanted to use this as a document setup for quick scanning and reading and stuff, which is kind of where it's been angled, then that's where you're gonna benefit from buying this device. But on this side, you're gonna notice, especially with the storage benchmark, it's significantly faster. So the way that I think they set up this one was to be as a drawing tablet. That's why it's got a little bit more, well, actually like 30, 40, 20 to 40% more processing performance in a graphical area. I still don't think either of these are gonna be great gaming tablets. It's not really what they're set up to do, is be like a PUBG mobile type of setup. I don't think that's the intent with these, but they are still capable. And especially this one, I did a little bit of drawing and a bit of scribbling myself, and well, it came out kind of badly, but I'm new to this, but the stylus was kind of fun, and I was having fun drawing with it. You might notice this, my house design type setup is because I used to do tech drawing back in the day. So yeah, I just tried to draw a basic house type structure just to see how it worked, and it was kind of fun, I must be honest. It took me back to MS Paint days. So both of these are also equipped with pretty good Wi-Fi. I got 300 megabits on the speed test from each of them. On the down, my upload is having a bit of an issue right now, but 300 megabits on the Wi-Fi is more than enough, honestly, for a tablet of this ilk. And so you can stream 1080p, 60 FPS, absolutely no problems with that. You only need like a tenth of that to be able to do that. Updates are going to be extremely fast as well, which they were. Everything that I downloaded onto them to do testing was pretty immediate for the most part, as quick as it could have been based off of my internet speeds. And they also come with LTE routers built into them, which is a nice to have. So while you are on the go, if you get yourself like a cheap MTN setup, for instance, where 200 gig costs like $400, you throw that into these plus Wi-Fi, you're never going to run out of data. You can do almost anything you want to do, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg every month. So what do I think of these two? I really like them. I like that they are separated as well in purpose and niche, and a lot of people want to have that stylus input. The fact that it's got shortcut buttons and stuff on it and it can be recharged is really, really nice to have. The getting into filming the charging port was a little bit difficult, so I just didn't honestly even bother trying to get that good on film, but it is there. So you can charge it from the Type-C as well on the stylus pen. And then the one that's without stylus, I mean, it is significantly cheaper. The one with the stylus is going to set you back about $6,000 right now. It is on special on Evetech, and $3,700 for the standard M10. And I like that they're limiting in product, because this one, like I say, it feels like it's specifically in that niche, and it's got a nicer screen and much faster storage and a better graphic processing and the stylus pen, and a higher resolution on the screen. So it's going to set itself apart there a little bit in that facet. And this is if you just want a good strong tablet for doing like spreadsheets and basic sort of work on that, just checking stuff or document scanning, etc. Then it's going to work extremely well in that facet. And another thing that's so good on both of these is the speakers. I was actually kind of stunned by how good it was. I didn't actually feel the need for a headphone jack, but the fact that it is there means parents and such that buy this maybe for their children to use for YouTube Kids, etc., because these have got Android 12 and 11 on them, meaning that you can control access to the device quite nicely. It's got YouTube Kids and stuff built into that, so you can control the media and stuff that they are watching quite easily, and you can get a little bit of peace by just getting them a basic set of in-ears or over-ear headset that they can then connect into the side. The fact that it comes with folio cases and stuff that fit to these products is absolutely fantastic. And otherwise, it's been a pretty good experience. Now, I do have the 12 Pro coming up, which is a much more extreme version of these two over here. So we're going to give that the exact same treatment. If there's anything you guys feel that I've left out or that you'd like to see in other tablet reviews, please do let me know in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed this review though, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side.